know what's going on with this.
Well, we're live, so I guess that's just how it's going to be.
I guess so. It'd be like that.
All right, boys and girls, welcome again to the Old Man Gaming Hour. I'm going to assume this week that there you go. I'm going to assume this week that we're not going to do a 3-hour show because we don't have a crap ton of rules and stuff to go over. This week we are going to talk about 3rd edition as we head into the new edition next weekend. We wanted to kind of just do a reflection show on our thoughts and our experiences during 3rd edition. And if you'd like to join in the chat and give us your stories too, that'd be pretty awesome. But that's going to be the topic for this week. So before we get going on any of that stuff, please like, subscribe, and follow on our social medias. You can find the links below under the About section in the stream. And that would help out. That'd help us out pretty a lots. That was good English, by the way. It's actually correct English.
Yeah, I think that's accurate.
Yeah.
I think I'm done. I think I'm ready to roll now. Everything's cooking.
Oh, okay. Josh is cooking now, so I guess we can start the stream after.
Yeah, it took me a minute to get things set up.
Yo, so what's up, ready. Logan? All right,
Logan's in the house. Didn't know he knew our site.
Yeah, well, we're gonna ask him some questions about his experience in 3rd edition too. Fellow,
tell us about 3rd edition.
Fellow TO, in fact. So we'll see how his tournaments went that he ran down in Toledo, and his take on it, and maybe some of his games or highlights from 3rd that he liked and disliked. That'd be cool to do. So you're in for the whole show, Logan. Sorry, you gotta stay.
We're just excited to see you.
Yeah. So for right now, let's get through some of our normal stuff before we get into the main topic. And first off, outside of Warhammer, what you got going on, Josh?
Well, I just did an 8-day stretch of work. I planned on going to some ball games this week. And I think I'm to Cincinnati just to watch the Reds and the Tigers, check out their stadium. But otherwise, yeah, that's pretty much the only plan.
Cool. What's that on the weekend?
Maybe Friday. I don't know.
Is it Friday?
We don't really have a great plan.
Okay. All right. Well, that's pretty cool. At least you'll be able to catch a game in a different stadium, and that'll be fun.
Yep.
I don't have too much going on here. I think we're going to have some family over tomorrow for a cookout during the day. Do some swimming, some eating. That kind of thing. Maybe we'll catch some fireworks tomorrow night. Maybe. I think the wife wanted to do that, so that'll probably be a thing. But other than that, we really haven't done a whole lot of outside of Warhammer things, really. I mean, we haven't really got together to play any Shatterpoint lately. Most of the time, I think we're just kind of sitting around waiting
Ethan
for...
and I have been playing...
You've been playing Marvel?
Yeah, Ethan and I have been playing Marvel.
Yeah, like I said, other than that, I haven't really played anything I haven't even played. Sometimes when we were not playing games or whatever, sometimes I'll jump onto Fortnite with the kiddos, but I haven't really been doing that either.
Oh, I'm downloading Fortnite as we speak. Probably part of the problem that I'm dealing with right now.
Yeah, we'll apologize in advance if Josh gets a little choppy. He's having some internet problems at home, so we'll muddle through it. I mean, we don't have any rules that you guys haven't seen before on the docket for today, or anything like that. So you're not going to miss out on any war scrolls or any army rules. So, but Josh did say that he had some stuff on his work desk that he was doing. What's up with that?
Yeah. So I have put together a ton of Slaves to Darkness stuff. I think I got 5 knights built, 10 more warriors, a champion, some Warcry from Underworld stuff from Gnarlwood. I built that big guy, Archeon.
Okay.
And then over here, I mean, I'm still doing my city stuff here at the house. So I'm kind of mixing it up. I'm doing cities when I'm home, and I'm doing chaos when I'm in Lansing.
Very good, man. You've been putting in some work on the building for sure. I don't have anything currently unbuilt. I did build up Radikar the Beast. I got him, I don't know, a week or so ago. After the War Scroll that was released on the Army Focus, or the Faction Focus article. I think he's going to be real good in 4th. So picked him up for semi-cheap on eBay and built him when he got here. So it's the only thing I really built. I haven't really done anything else. However, I think all of us in the community will have quite a bit to build when the launch box comes out. So I guess that's my next project.
Okay.
So let's talk about a couple things now. We did have a rather large recent event that happened over this past weekend. If anybody kind of stays in touch with the AoS community via Twitter or BCP for that matter, they would know that the AoS World Championships were this past weekend in Amsterdam. So I kind of keep up on this stuff a little bit just because I am part of the Team USA Minutemen program, which is kind of like the practice squad for the main team. So we have different things that we work on, whatever, practice games and simulated team events and stuff. But so the actual travel team, if you will, went over to Amsterdam and played. They played a 2-day singles event on Wednesday and Thursday, I think. And then they had a 3-day team event where they played 2 rounds Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So 6 total rounds. But I just wanted to touch on that real quick in case anybody is interested in that kind of thing. The singles event was won by the Night Queen herself, Rania Anderson. She's from Sweden. She ran a Night Haunt list. And actually, I think, if I'm not mistaken, between singles and teams last year, she was 11-0, didn't lose a single game. And she went 5-0 on this singles event and won singles again. So I mean, that's pretty impressive, I would imagine, to be
Yeah.
the best player, arguably, in the world, not only just with a Night Haunt. I mean, you're playing, it's different. You know, when you get a 5-0 at a GT or something, you don't have the entire field of the GT, you know, top-notch players. You know, you might have a couple hard games. Like if you go 3-0,
Right.
your fourth and fifth round games will be tough because you're playing other 3-0 people that, you know, got through the lower tier, mid-table guys or whatever. But when you can do it at a Worlds event, I think that's pretty impressive. And doing it with Night Haunt.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think
it was
that you know, and that plan, yeah, Night Haunt is no joke.
But so yeah, she won the singles event. The teams event, which the event was actually geared around, had Team Denmark taking first place for I think it was the third year in a row, and the only loss that they took out of those 3 years was this year in round two. In round two, they played the U.S. team. So the U.S. got revenge on them from last year. They played. So they did take a win, although a small win. It's a differential scoring, so the total of all the differentials is what each round is scored on. But it seems to be an interesting event. With a little bit more strategy involved in the team event with how they do the pairings and what you expect out of a game and then what actually happens in a game. But just for reference, so Team USA beat Denmark in round two. Denmark won the team's event, and Team USA finished in 11th. Although a good showing, they only lost 2 rounds the whole event, so they're 4-2 on their rounds. But they just didn't win by a big enough margins to get extra points. So, other than that, this seems like a pretty cool event. I watched some of the stuff Honest Wargamer streamed every round of that with commentary and 3 stream tables, and then they had another camera that was like kind of like just a guy walking around with like a GoPro or something that would get like up close table shots, and they'd pan and do interviews with people that weren't in a game, and actually pretty good coverage. They do a real nice job. Shout out to Honest Wargamer Rob if you're watching.
I'm sure he's watching.
But yeah, those couple events over the weekend were the big end of year, I guess, or end of edition type of events that they run. I did hear some conversation of maybe Team USA fielding 2 separate teams for next year. I guess they brought over 13 total players. So 8 players on the Team USA team, and then 5 other players that were recruited and played for other countries.
Okay. Okay.
Well, a couple played for other countries, and then the United Nations team, which was made up of whoever else. There was a couple USA players on that team too.
A United Nations team?
Yep.
That's kind of cool.
I think they had 2 of those type of teams. One was United Nations team, and there was another team that was made up of, a conglomerate of players. I don't know. I can't remember what the team name of that was called, but I think there was 2 like combo type of teams.
Should just make a Jamaican team.
Oh, I mean, if people in Jamaica played Warhammer, I guess you could do that.
You could just say you're from Jamaica. I mean, what are they going to check?
Oh yeah, there's a background check.
Oh,
I don't know. But anyways, I just wanted to give a little bit of time for that because it's a big part of the community for people that are competitive game players like we are. Biggest event of the year, worldwide, I would imagine.
yeah, I feel like it's a big one.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty exclusive as far as like you can't just buy a ticket and go. You know, you got to be part of a team, and the team has to get registered and all that. But seems like a good time. I mean, I'm sure the event is super awesome. I mean, there's nowhere else I don't think you can go to in an event that's going to have people from all over the world centralized, and you're playing different countries and things like that. I think that part of it's real cool.
Yeah.
Let's go on to upcoming events because I feel like we need to shout out our own shit also.
I concur.
So what we're doing right now, as far as our events go, we do have the August RTT up and available for people to register on BCP. You can check out the link in our Discord. I've also been posting that in Facebook groups and on Twitter. So again, it's going to be at the same place, the Our House Games in Monroe, Michigan. $30, sign up. We're going to have pretty much the same deals we had last time. We're going to have some in-store credit handed out as prizes. Also, hoping, I haven't officially nailed it down yet, but the sponsors that we had for the last RTT, Gray Matter Games, and T Fritz Treasures, we should get some prize support from them also again. So, should be a real good time. Everyone had a blast last time. We already have, I think there was 9 signups already out of the 20 available spots. So we got 11 open seats at the moment. And I know it's only the beginning of July. But if you're interested and want to come to that event, sign up soon, because last time when we had our last event in May, it literally filled in like a week. So we're giving a little bit more headway on advertising for the event this time.
Yeah, we're not going to get too heavy on advertising until right before, but right now we are letting you know it's available.
Yeah. And like I said, there's more people. There's different people that signed up already for this August one than even played in the May event. So signs pointing toward this thing's going to fill up, and if it does, we will have a wait list that you can contact us and get on, just in case someone has to drop. But this is going to be good for us. We're just starting putting together a plan to I don't know what you call it. We're putting together a plan in order to be prepared for our actual GT that we're going to run in February. So, I mean, we have to accumulate mats and terrain and some different things to get that thing ready. But these RTTs help out quite a bit as far as trying to get the funds together to supply us with the materials needed.
Yep. After this first one, we should have a lot of the mats we need.
Yep.
And then, we're still cranking out that nice looking terrain. We have Tim still working hard on that. And Nick's been working on it. So hopefully, by the time we're ready to roll, we're going to have more than enough stuff, and we should be able to grow pretty easily.
Yeah. I mean, on paper, I think we got a solid plan. So, I mean, we've been to enough events. We've seen how they're ran. I think we have some real good ideas that are going to be unique. I'm not going to spoil those for you today. But stay tuned because it's not anything that you've seen before. So hopefully it'll be fun for everybody. And unique prizes. And, hopefully it's one of those things where, it was a fun enough event that people want to come back and play more. And then we'll just keep having them. So that's the plan going forward.
Yep.
Okay, well, I guess that leads us into the actual sponsors. So, like I mentioned, Gray Matter Games and T Fritz Treasures sponsored us last time, but I do want to do a little bit of a special shout out for Gray Matter Games, real quick. Let me grab it. We contacted them, contacted Andy not too long ago, and we needed to have some 4th edition objective markers made because, everybody on our team needs them. So we thought, what better way to usher in 4th edition with our very own team-branded objective markers. I know that's a little bit weird because the camera's trying to bug it out here. But we do have objective markers with our logo. I don't know how to get that out of that fade. But it's got our logo on there, and it's got the little objective marker thing right in the center. And these are real nice. These are the neoprene, the mouse pad type objective markers. So we got a set of those made up for each of our team members. So that'll be pretty cool. We'll have those at all the tournaments, so everyone will see how cool our shit is. So that's fun. But yeah, so Andy really took care of us there. It was actually, it was pretty fast for a custom order, I would think. It was like a couple weeks maybe. Then we ordered them, and then he had them, and then he shipped them out to us.
Yeah, maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So, again, shout out to Andy. You can find his all his stuff at graymattergames.org, I believe it is. If that's not correct, we have our links on our Discord. So just sign up for the Discord. They got their own sponsorship channel in there, and I put the links for their websites in there. All right. Now that we got that out of the way, boys and girls, we're on to the main topic. So, like I said at the beginning, we are going to take a look at 3rd edition and reflect. Meaning we're going to take a look back at anything we want to review on 3rd edition, what our experiences were, whether that means tournaments that we went to, or what we thought of the armies, how we thought the game was. Any of that kind of stuff is open game. Also in chat, if you want to throw in some comments about your stuff, we can, that might spark a conversation also. So feel free. So why don't you start off with one, Josh, that you'd like to touch on, and we can talk about that for a few.
We'll see if I have any internet here. They told me it's running fine, but now that I'm looking at it, that seems to be a lie. That being said, I guess the armies that I played this last few seasons or last few tournaments have been. I'm looking forward to see kind of how those armies shake out, and how points will be with the new edition. Corn Looks like it's going to be really good, with what we've seen, what they've kind of leaked so far. So I'm pretty fired up about that. Vampire counts, or not vampire counts, that's old school. Soul Blight. I didn't do real well with it. I played it at Adepticon and got beat up pretty bad. I think I can just kind of talk about what I did. Looks like I played in 5 big tourneys. Well, I mean, I guess I count our 3-rounder. And at AoS this year at the Adepticon, I think I ended up going 2 and 3. I wasn't real excited about the finish, but what are you going to do? You win some, you lose some. That would have been, I think, honestly, pretty standard. I ended up 2 and 3 at the Motor City Mayhem. Played Giants there. Beat some opponents. I ended up beating what's his name? Gabe Koba there. He ended up winning High Ground Brewski when we were there. Yeah. So I ended up I got a dub against him, pretty good player. That was in our last round. High Ground, speaking of which, I think I ended up 2 and 3 at that. Yeah, I played Korn. Ended up with Roush in the first round. He's my
he's your round 1 nemesis.
My nemesis. Yeah, well, I mean, I play him in every 3-game tournament, every single one of them, and I got him round one as well at High Ground. And what are you gonna do? It was a good game. It was the closest I've had against him. You know what? I played Sharks in that tournament, didn't I? Or no,
that was
I played
ours,
at our team. Yeah, and I got him in round 1 at our RT right after High Ground, and I gave him a little run there. I ended up 7th in that. I lost to Roush and then won my next 2 games. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like I had a good 3rd edition. I had a lot of fun. Got you into the game, and then we started doing some tournaments and kind of getting into it. And now we're opening it up to run our own tournaments and. I feel like we're, 3rd edition was a good jumping board, and hopefully we can really just turn it into something, pretty cool. I saw you wrote some stuff about the GHB. I played a lot of Lizards at home against you, and so I really liked, the problem you have. I won't throw it under the bus.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can touch on that now. I mean, the one of the points I wanted to make in this reflection show was. The last GHB that we just finished up, it could have been really good. Outside of 2 mechanics that were seasonal that made everybody cringe was the fact that it heavily favored casters with the primal dice. And that also, in turn, led into the problem that they introduced the spell Merciless Blizzard.
I loved it.
So, like, if your army was already good at casting, you got extra dice for casting with the primal dice. And then you were able to get off a Blizzard, which was a 4d6 mortal wound damage into a unit, which was just so problematic for a lot of things because it single-handedly won games. If you got your Blizzard cast off and you did 15 to 20 mortal wounds into someone's centerpiece model, the model was dead. And that's just like, I don't know, man. It's like one shot and, half of someone's army off the table or a quarter of their army or something is pretty devastating just with a spell. So there was a lot of problems with that. A lot of people complaining about it. It definitely wasn't fun to play against, and it was almost like an auto take in your list if you had casters, so maybe you had a potential of doing that to someone else. I mean, I was on the receiving end of a couple blizzards that were hard. I also dished out a couple that were meaningful in games. So as far as that goes, it just was a feel bad moment, really, more than any type of feel good moment.
I can't really remember a whole lot of times that I cast it in tournaments, but I mean, I guess I played a lot of Khorne.
Yeah, I would have assumed though that like if you would have played Seraphon in tournaments, you would have just been doing a ton of mortal wounds with all your spells, and then also had a blizzard on top of it. You know, because you would have took it. Yeah. You had so many pluses to casting, and then primal dice. You would have been able to get it off pretty easily. So
yeah, I mean, there were armies that I played with it, and but I don't know. I guess I just think that I didn't use it that much, and I don't really remember it being used against me that much. So I don't know.
I mean, there was just times. That's all. I mean, it wasn't like our experience with Blizzard in tournaments wasn't completely horrible, but there was a lot of people that were like, fuck Blizzard, it's the worst thing that's ever happened. I just got fucking one-shotted with this fucking thing. And it almost kind of felt like when Oogity Boogity would stare your main hero off the table, right? Because someone just never failed rolling 3-ups, and something just dies.
Yeah.
For something you can't do anything about. On most parts, like if someone's gearing up to cast a blizzard, they're baiting you, and then all of a sudden they have 3 or 4 primal dice, and you have no unbinds left, and then they're going to cast a blizzard in your face, you know?
Yeah.
So that part felt real bad. Now, the other GHBs, I guess, for context, didn't have anything that devastating in them. What do we have? 4 total GHBs? We had
give or take. You had the monster one. Right?
We had a year-long one, right? And then we had 2 6-month ones, and then this one.
Yeah, monster, and then we had the infantry one, and the character one, and then the wizard one. I think is.
So, I mean, like out of the 4 GHBs, I think when we look at some of those and we say we really like the year-long GHBs. Let me rephrase that. I think we would prefer 6-month GHBs.
Yeah.
As competitive players. Well, but we play a ton.
Play a ton, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we play like almost every night.
The year-long GHBs are good for casual players, and I understand that there's just way more casual players out there than there are tournament players. So there's really, I don't know if there's a real like solution to that, because you can't put out a GHB like every 8 months, because that wouldn't make sense. And it also really wouldn't make sense to put out like a tournament pack GHB versus a casual player GHB, because then it gets confusing. So I'm sure there's not a real good solution, and they went back to a year GHB this last one, so I'm assuming they're just going to keep that rolling. And it would be fine as long as they don't have anything completely egregious in a year-long GHB, like the Blizzard spell, for instance. That's my overall take on it. Like, I don't care if they do 6 months GHBs, but I think for the overall community, it's probably a bad idea.
Yeah. Well, and that's okay. So I agree. I can see both sides, but on I don't know. I think that the biggest thing is, like when you play all the time, it gets really boring playing the same GHB over and over and over again. Whereas when you're playing, one game or one tournament every 6 months, you're buying a book and you're not getting any use out of it, and so that kind of sucks. So I can see both sides.
Did you turn your camera off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
okay.
trying to
I didn't know if you're having another problem or not.
I'm still struggling, so the camera. We're just gonna roll it out for a minute and see what we can do.
All right, no problem. I got you. Well, we did review what armies you played over this past 3rd edition of the game. I pretty much exclusively played Flesh Eater Courts. It was the army I started at the beginning of 3rd edition. It's the only army I've completely painted, minus some of the new stuff that I haven't gotten into a list yet. But I mean, it's like, it's hard for me to get away from them because they are my favorite army. So I think going into 4th, I'm going to try to make an effort into seeing if I like one of my other armies enough to get them painted for a tournament, and we'll see how that goes. But I think still the main focus is still going to be Flesh Eater Courts going forward for the foreseeable future, I think. But I will give Josh a few games of some other armies, just so he doesn't get bored of me.
You could play the RTTs. You could play like something else, and
then for sure, yeah, that's a good point. I think I did last year. I think I played at the game room in Toledo. I played vampires once.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah, I think that was when I was starting to kind of like get burnt out a little bit of Flesh Eaters. So I was like, well, it's just an RTT, right? So I'll roll up with some vamps because the painting's not required. So I ran the Neferata and Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon combo that a lot of people were trying out. That felt pretty good. I can't remember what I did. I think probably 2-1 in that tournament. But there's options, with new list building in 4th. We'll see how that goes. We're supposed to get the points, I believe, on Monday for all the units and all the armies. So that'll be kind of a fun thing to explore next week. But like I said, I'm saying it now. I don't know if it'll stick, but I'm going to make an effort to play some different things.
I'll believe it when I see it.
I mean, I for sure play you with anything here at the house, but we'll see about tournaments.
Yeah, I don't care if we play tournaments. I don't think we've ever played in a tournament.
No, we have not. Maybe that'll be something we get to do in 4th edition. Would it be wild?
I hope not.
Yeah, I mean, we play for your sake.
I mean, I'll just bring an army if I know I'm playing you. I already know how to. Like, I know I have armies that beat your army, and I have armies that don't. And I'm sure I will know that again this edition.
Maybe I'll never play with Flesh Eater Courts at the house, and then we'll, if it ever happens in a tournament, we'll just be like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, but then how are you going to practice?
I got TTS.
Okay.
Besides, Clay has already told me he's going to play a shit ton of TTS once 4th starts up, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I may try doing some TTS just so we can stream some games anyways.
Yeah. We should do that. We should do that. Oh, let me. I wanted to also. Yeah, let me. I know Josh did this a little earlier, but I want to look back at some of the events that I played in. What did we do? I was in. Wow, 12.
You
12
played 12
events.
Is that counting?
Well, I'm sorry. That's probably not the last. No, wait, that's going back too far.
Yeah, I think Motor City was the beginning of this last season over the last year. But I mean,
but third edition, right? Is everything.
Yeah. Okay, so I mean, I guess I also played. I played 2 Adepticons. I didn't talk about Adepticon.
Well, we won't talk about Adepticon 2023.
With the snakes.
Yeah, it was basically like Josh never showed up.
Well, I mean,
yeah, so I played in 12 events. A couple of the events we hit up a couple times. Brewhammer, I played twice. We played at the High Ground event multiple times. A couple of Michigan GTs. Motor City Mayhem. And Adepticon this year, and our own RTT that we ran just a couple months ago. So I think overall the record that I had is okay. I think some of the events were definitely subpar for what I thought that I'd be able to do in them. Namely, the last High Ground event, which I thought I was pretty confident going into that with Flesh Eater Courts. I've been playing them for a couple of years, and they just released Ushran and all the new models, and I thought, I'm going to put that big-ass dude in my list, and we're just going to go wreck face. And then I went 1-4. So
yeah, well,
it turns out if you kill Ushran in the first turn or two, you're doing pretty well against Flesh Eater Courts. He's a chunk of points, so I probably didn't play him well. It was the first time ever trying him, and we don't even have a lot of practice games with him. I don't think either.
You didn't play him a lot.
Yeah. But I did go 3-2 at Adepticon, which was proud of myself for that. It's the biggest field I've played in. So 3-2 is pretty decent. In fact, my round 1 opponent at Adepticon was none other than Gabe Colbo. Really close game. I mean, like, really close. And that, if you remember me telling you the story of my failed Blizzard attempt, that was from that game.
Yep.
The 16 mortal wounds that I did to his Stonehorn would have killed him, and then he 5-up warded 13 of the damage. So if that would have happened, his Stonehorn would have been gone. I would have not been pinned. I would have been able to get out and score points and had board control over him the whole game. But didn't work. Sometimes it just don't. So that would have been interesting because I think Gabe ended up, if I'm not mistaken, 4-1.
Yeah, he was real high up.
Yeah, he was 4-1. I think he won best whatever those ogres. Best ogres,
yeah,
I think.
He was 8th. Yeah. And he was 4-1, lost in the last round. Not sure.
So
it looks like
I don't know.
Rezka. I don't know.
I mean, if that's any consolation, I mean, like, I played him good. I think he was a bit nervous when I got that blizzard off on his Stonehorn.
I mean, you killed his Stonehorn and he spiked 15 saves.
Yeah. So it's just one of those weird things that happens in games sometimes. But I mean, if I win that match, who knows? You know, who knows after that, because you're paired against different people. But it would have been a real good confidence booster on my part, because Gabe did win the Michigan GT this past year. So he's a real good player.
Yeah.
Oh shit! We got our first ever new follower alert because I just added the alert boxes in there.
Oh, nice.
Uh, Thor the Mighty 88. Thanks for the follow, man.
Thanks for the follow.
We're just in here bullshitting about reflecting on our third edition AoS. Right now, we're just just talking about some old events we played in, doing a little bit of a recap type of thing.
Yeah.
If you have any stories about events you guys played in, please throw them in the chat so we can talk to you about them. But like I said, yeah, the last Adepticon was a pretty good showing. I think
That was
for
your
me,
first Adepticon.
it was my first ever Adepticon and went 3-2. So I mean, like, that event was really awesome the whole weekend, and then performing not great but good. Is fine by me. But like I said, I followed that up at the High Ground event with a 1-4. So a little humbling, I guess. But like you said, I hadn't played Usharon that much going into that tournament. I just thought that it'd be a fun thing to play. So
yeah.
But I think the highlight, I had two highlights events, and one was going 4-1, my first 4-1 ever at the Michigan or the Motor City Mayhem event.
Yep.
Ended up winning Best Death at that tournament.
Yeah, we fought for you on that one.
Yeah, I mean, there was a fumble with how the tournament was scored with the soft scores, but we got that ironed out, and it turned out it put me ahead of the other death player that was it was also 4-1. But I got myself a cool trophy. So that was the best tournament result of third edition. So I was happy with that. The other kind of highlight, I mean, it was an RTT, but it was a Motor City, or not a Motor City, man. It's a High Ground RTT that I went 3-0 in. And then had the exact same score as our buddy, the Michael Roush. And he won the tournament because of his strength of schedule. So, Mike, if you're out there, I'm going to beat your ass in some tournaments this year. And maybe you'll quit dodging me.
Thor.
I feel like
give me the shout out. Who are you, Thor?
Yeah, I feel like maybe they know you. But yeah, so anyways, those were my tournament highlights from this past couple years.
Okay.
Does that ring a bell?
No.
Okay. But yeah, so anyways, tournament results overall, I think were pretty good. Had a couple bad tournaments, but I mean, sometimes you're just going to get shit on.
Yeah, it's all about your matchups. Like, I mean, I felt like I played my armies well enough to do well in every tournament, but I ended up, I think, even throughout the year. I think I was like 10-10 or something like that in GTs.
Yeah.
Overall, and then the RRTT. I mean, I was 2-1. Ethan took dead last in that one. That was a lot of fun, but at least he got to play. Not sure how that even happened, but hopefully he's going to make it to some more tournaments this year. And then, Logan's talking about playing this year too, so we'll see. Hopefully we can, get him into some stuff and get some models painted for them, and then, just add them to the mix of the fun.
Sure.
I'm looking at that Motor City Mayhem sticker on Best Coast pairings, and That's awesome. With the KO guy holding the hammer and the welder working on
Yeah,
the
I
mold.
think they had
The
some pretty
graphic.
good artwork there.
Yeah. Can't show it, I guess, but so what was your favorite tournament besides I mean, obviously probably the one you did well best in?
I mean that I like that one because of my result. I don't think that was the coolest event we went to. Um,
Thanks for stopping by, Thor.
all right, Thor, appreciate it, buddy. Thanks for the follow. Join the Discord if you want. The links in the about section below.
Yep.
That'd be fun too to keep in touch with you. But yeah, I think Adepticon has to take the cake for the coolest event. I mean, it's the biggest event. It's the only convention event we went to this year. All the other ones were just regular tournaments. So there's a lot more to do there. We both made a pretty awesome purchase. So we got our travel bags for our armies.
Our carry-ons.
Yes. Just in case we ever need to fly somewhere.
Yep.
I think we're prepared now. But yeah, so it was pretty cool. I think the only thing that would make that kind of an event better is if you stayed in the hotel where it was hosted.
Yeah, and I think we missed that shot again this year.
Yeah,
So
it's just so bad that I really think they just don't release enough rooms right away. So, I mean, there's no way. There's just literally no way if they had 3,000 rooms available that everybody gobbled up 3,000 rooms in 4 minutes.
I heard it was 15 this year. 15 minutes.
Well, whatever it is. I mean, it's still like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. If the hotel blocks weren't as big as they thought they were going to be able to get, maybe, who knows? But, yeah, it's going to be another tough one to get. I mean, without paying. Do you see some of them prices that were?
Yeah,
Like,
well, and I looked at some Airbnbs around there. We're gonna have to get together and talk about that. I think we can go a little cheaper and get an Airbnb or something. And we can just carpool over to the event again, like we did last year, or we can Uber or whatever. But I think since we're not going to get good prices on the discount rooms, I also talked to Rafferty, and so he's going to hit me up if he finds out there are more rooms added and when that's going to be going down.
okay.
So we'll see, but it's just part of the world that convention brings in. I mean, I don't even mind missing. We've talked about going to Vegas for the LVO, but I don't like the Rio. So if they're going to be doing it at the Rio, I don't know that I really want to go there. I don't know. I've kind of heard that they redid the rooms, but I heard they were tearing that hotel down anyway. So I'm not even sure. The last time I was in Vegas, that place was a ghost town. So, I mean, I'm sure they got a good price on the Rio, but we'll have to wait and see. I don't know. Like, I would rather it be at a nicer, like, it doesn't have to be at the Bellagio or something, but just, slightly nicer, just, not the Rio. Like on the Strip, maybe that would be a good start.
On the Strip would be fantastic.
Or even the old, I would even go to Old Vegas, just somewhere where there's like something going on besides our tournament, because the Rio is off the Strip and empty. I don't know.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, obviously we kind of know people that went out there for that, but not like I didn't have a lot of insight on like if the event was ran real well, if it felt run down in the hotels. I know, like you said, they redid some of the rooms and stuff, but I don't know. You're probably right. I mean, they probably could just book any damn hotel they could get their hands on. It is a big enough event. I mean, They had the biggest Warhammer tournament on the planet last year. It was like 320 players or some crazy thing.
Yeah.
So, maybe I don't know, but again, that's another one of those events where you got to be committed to going. I mean, you got to get flights, you got to get the hotel.
Yeah, another one that I'd like.
And probably going to go out there for more than just 2 days. Also, so there's that, and
yeah. Another one I'd like to do is like we could drive south, Nashville, NashCon.
Yep. NashCon would be fun to do for sure.
That kind of thing. There's a lot of I mean, obviously, the tournament's cool, but there's also other stuff to do. So that's another one that I'd be interested in attending. Maybe add that to our season this year. I mean, I'm planning this year. Definitely Adepticon again. Definitely MIGT coming up in September. High Ground Brewski was a lot of fun, so we'll probably end up having to attend that one again.
Yeah.
Motor City's dead now, I think. I don't think we're going to see that.
At least for AoS, I think, right?
Yeah, I think so. And that one was in May. So, and then ours is going to be in February, so that'll be a good time too. So, I mean, that's and I won't play in that one, obviously, but that's 3 big ones that we have lined up, and maybe we can add on another major event.
Yeah, and of course, we've also been kicking around ideas, and maybe this won't happen this year, but maybe in future years where we hold not only one GT a year, but maybe 2. And then whether that GT is a team tournament or a doubles tournament, maybe so we can have 2 different styles in the given year. But we'll have to see what the interest is and that kind of thing. So
once we have enough stuff to run tournaments, we can run tournaments.
Yeah.
Yep.
Another point that I wanted to make about 3rd edition too. There was a definite increase in the power creep from when we started, or at least when I started at the beginning of 3rd, to the end of 3rd. It seemed like there was a shit ton of damage going out toward the end of 3rd. And I don't know if that was just because, everyone got a new army book during the 3rd edition. And with each new army book, it seemed like, okay, this army is going to be overpowered. Next book comes out and you go, holy shit, that book is fucking real good. With exception of a couple of armies, Skaven being one that got kind of derailed. They got
shafted in the beginning.
So
their book came out late from 2nd edition, and then the book was written for 2nd, and then they kind of got shafted. But hopefully they more than make up for it in this new edition.
But anyhow, it just seemed like toward the end of 3rd, once everybody got a new book, the early books just couldn't compete with the late books.
Welcome to GW.
Yeah, and I guess there's reasons behind that, because you want to kind of like issue out something new and have that new thing be popular, which is totally, I mean, it's like fine. But when you see the tournament results, like we tend to keep an eye on, and you go from an army that was like in the 40% win rate, and all of a sudden they jump up to like mid 60% win rate when just with the issue of a new book.
Yeah.
That's wild. That's a wild swing, like 20% more win rate just because of your new rules rather than trying to write the rules to where it's balanced to bring you up into that like 45 to 55% bracket that they try to get to. Now, with that being said, I do think that at the end of 3rd edition, they finally tuned all the armies into the most compact win rate spread that they've had in a while.
Yeah, but I think a lot of that was not necessarily tuning the armies as much as it was just giving free victory points with tactics and things. And I suspect the same this next book. That's how they're gonna adjust points until they bring them down through the ground, and they'll like nerf things that are too strong to make an army, and they may overcorrect, and then adding free battle tactics that like certain armies get automatically gives them a leg up. So like I feel like that, like Big Waz, like they didn't really change any of their points. They didn't add good models because Big Pigs sucked when they came out, and they were crushing people because they had a bunch of free tactics.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully that doesn't. Hopefully they don't do that. I mean, with the grand strats being removed from the game, I think tactics are going to be the hard thing to accomplish.
Yeah.
But like if you don't complete all 5 tactics, your opponent may not either. So you know what I mean? Like before, like in 3rd edition, for example, you needed all 5 of your tactics. If you lost one, you pretty much lost the game.
Yeah.
And you also needed your grand strat.
Yeah. And that's what's going to get you higher up in the overall tournament, really.
So, and now with no grand strats, I mean, like, you drop a tactic. Well, the tactics that we've seen, at least are discussed anyway, seem to be not real guaranteed. And you don't have book tactics, which, like you said, like makes some armies easier to play because they're just going to get tactics without really doing much. So I think going into 4th, it's going to be a little bit different, but I said probably closer games because they redid the scoring. I mean, you're going to get 10 points around now versus whatever before.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, we got a lot of testing games to do, but it's not going to be as like swingy, I don't think, as 3rd edition games. Because there's sometimes 3rd edition games you would be up by like 12 points after 2 rounds. Just sometimes, like if you kept someone off of getting 1, 2, and more, and you denied one of their tactics, and you played a map where you could score 7 points in a turn, you might be up 12-2 after 2 rounds. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's just like it was map dependent because all the maps weren't evenly scored, and you get bonus points for doing this thing or doing that thing, and then you know what I'm saying? Like the swing was crazy. Not most of the time when we played, but it did exist.
Sure. I think now you're going to see people trying to like really make tough decisions because of the way that they changed double turn. Like if you get ahead in points, you sacrifice a tactic so you can take a double turn and tie the score potentially, but like cripple your opponent, maybe. Or do you go, you dropped a tactic, I'm just going to freaking continue to go when I'm going and take my tactics. That way you have to struggle to catch back up. Maybe. There's a lot of, just turn priority is going to be like a science.
Yeah, I mean, like even more so than it was in 3rd, because the only time you took a double into 3rd is when the best opportunity for a double was, can I eliminate more of his shit?
Right. Like
right. Can I do more destructive things to my opponent taking this double, or do I not take it because I'm not set up for that right now? And that was the only decision you had to make. It wasn't, oh man, if I do this, I might go down in points, and that might be bad for me, or any other strategical thing. It was just like, can I put my opponent away or not?
And that's the bottom line.
Which still may be a little bit of that into fourth, but that's not the sole decision you're going to have to make. What else did we do in third edition that we wanted to touch on?
I don't know.
I guess we could talk about this. I mean, what are we doing right now? Duh.
Well, I mean, like we talked about what's on our workbench, I mean, I'm working on 2 armies right now because I can't decide between the 2, cities and slaves. I really think Khorne's going to be big this edition, so I'll probably end up playing them some, depending. I really like what they did with demons, giving them all ward saves. It was one of the biggest things I hated about last edition's Khorne, or the last Khorne book, rather. So I'm psyched about cities. I'm psyched about slaves. They both look like decent books. I mean, everything's going to be point related, I mean, and I have all the books and all the armies and all the models. So, I'm pretty much up in the air. Like, I could play anything, and I got to wait and see what really looks good and sounds good, because I have favorite armies, but I'm not going to play a favorite army if it's bad when I have other options I can just play. So,
hey, don't count out your trees.
Yeah, well,
they could be cool.
Could be okay. I don't really love what they've shown so far, but it looks like what they've, some of these releases, like the leaks have shown like battle formations and things for different armies, and they'll make a difference.
Yeah. Well, like we were talking about earlier today, it was like, I mean, they show the Flesh Eater Court one, and then you just go, it's got a lot of the same stuff.
Yep.
But now that we got to see the Goonhammer article, that if true, put in more information into that, and then you can kind of get more excited about it. At least I was when I read about the different battle formations and the artifacts and stuff.
Yeah.
So, and that can go along with any army. It's not just what GW teases out, like 1/10 of the stuff you need to know.
Right. Yeah, you can't go by that tease. I mean, it gets you hyped or it gets you pissed, but either way.
Yeah. Well, it stirs conversation either way.
Right.
For sure. But again, without knowing points or without knowing, I mean, we have a pretty good idea about how list building is going to go, but you don't know what each of the heroes unlock and how you want to build the list with all. We don't know all the war scrolls. We don't know all the points. So I guess next week we'll find that out. But yeah, it's just another waiting game thing.
And it's freaking countdown now, boys.
Yeah. But I did want to mention though that during third edition, the other notable thing that we really did was we started running events. Now we compiled our friends into a Warhammer club called Old Man Gaming. Surprisingly enough.
Yep.
So I mean, we took big strides this past year, really, on getting that stuff together as far as an actual club goes. Sure. We got jerseys made for all the team members, so we can wear them at events and look cool like the other kids.
And your objectives that we have not handed out yet, but we just got those objectives made for
objective
everybody.
Markers for our team. We started the Old Man Gaming YouTube channel and Twitch channel, so we can get information out to you guys and talk about Warhammer. Because why, Josh? Because we talk about it anyway.
I mean, That was literally it. I was driving home one day from Lansing or something, and I was like, Jake, let's do a YouTube show. And he's like, oh, okay. And I said, we just sit here and talk about this shit. This is all we do. We might as well just talk about it on a show.
Yeah.
Might be kind of cool.
It's perfect.
Yeah. And so what are we, 14 shows in now?
I think this is the 14th live show. We have one battle report on our channel so far, but like we said earlier, we'd like to do a few more of those on TTS for now anyway, until we can actually get real equipment to film a live game. But yeah, TTS games would be fun. I think we had a ton of views on that first battle report. So I think people are interested in watching battle reports. Albeit, I mean, it was on TTS, but maybe it's just the same as far as checking out. Well, going into fourth too, I think it probably will be a good source of information if we can play games online, live stream it, and have people watch. So they why do you watch battle reports?
Well, I watch them because I want to see army lists and I want to see what the models look like painted.
Well, I mean, army list, you want to see painted armies. You want to see how the rules work, provided the people doing the actual game is doing the correct rules. But we're pretty good at doing that for the most part, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think we follow the rules pretty well, but it's also a source of, like, if you mess something up, somebody can go, oh, you should do this, or you should have done that. And you go, oh yeah, okay. I mean,
yeah, it's not only a learning experience for the viewer, but it could be a good learning tool for us too.
Yeah.
So I think we'll have more of that down the pipeline in the future. It'll most likely be unedited for the most part, but
definitely start. Yeah, we're not.
I don't think we're gonna quit our jobs and be like Season of War or anything.
Yeah. Well, I don't think Season of War quits their jobs either. Right?
Well, I mean, Jordan seems like he puts a shit ton of time into his YouTube channel, and
he does. It does seem like that. Yeah.
I don't think either one of us has got time like that to edit videos and stuff, but we can post the games for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna play them. They'll be late night games. We usually start our games around 10:30, 11 o'clock. So
yeah, I mean, I guess if you're waking up in Europe, you could catch us in the mornings or something. But speaking of which, where's Frenchie at?
Hasn't been on today, but I mean, our schedule's been so messed up. Hopefully we're going to get back to Sunday, although this Sunday it's the holiday weekend. What do you got going on this Sunday night?
I don't think anything this Sunday.
Do we even have something to talk about this Sunday though?
Yeah, we'll have to discuss that. I mean it'll be the day before we get the points, so it might just be another, I don't know.
We will next Sunday have something to talk about.
For sure.
Because we'll have all the points and the release should be out. So, right?
Yeah. Yep.
We should be getting that on the 13th. So we'll be holding on to our brand new boxes and hopefully ready to roll. So I'm pretty psyched about that. I mean, honestly, I've really enjoyed playing superheroes with Ethan and going up to the shop and playing those a little bit. We just joined a league. So I guess we're supposed to go this weekend and play some games. I don't know. But once AoS comes out, it's going to be all AoS all the time. We'll play our league games because we joined the league, but I don't know that we're going to do a whole lot else with that because it's going to be on like count.
Yeah, I think, and it'll be like probably back in the day when I started learning AoS in general, was like, we played a ton, man. What do we play? 2 or 3 nights a week, probably.
Sure.
When I started,
we played that even by the end when we were getting ready for tournaments or whatever. Like,
well, that's true.
I mean, we'll play games. I mean, and I'm playing more than that because I'm playing with Ethan and
right.
So,
but yeah, so I'm sure it'll be right back into that groove once we get all the 4th edition stuff out. So,
yep.
Yeah, I mean, we're excited going forward. It's kind of a cool thing for this show to look back at the previous 3 years, I guess it would be now.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 years of competitive play, I think. I think the first year we just played, right?
Yeah, I think you were training.
We were just learning and stuff and
well, you say we
collecting. Myself, yeah.
But but yeah, I mean, we got you in, we got you sucked in, and then for a year, and then you pulled me into this fucking train wreck of trying to go to tournaments and stuff. So, I mean, yeah, I think it's just up from here, you know. Business as usual.
Yep. Also, I guess another thing that I just thought about now, because you mentioned it before, the Team USA, whatever application period or whatever, they're supposed to make announcements on that sometime soon. I know it was like after Worlds last year. They had a little bit of a lull, and then they started announcing like applications for the next year's team and stuff. So if anybody is interested in that, I know I think you're going to sign up this year. Look, it you don't have to join thinking that like, hey, I got to make a team and get onto this team where they travel the world and play Warhammer. I mean, that is the top 8 players, right? I didn't join thinking that I was going to do that anyway. I wanted to join just so I could be in a community of guys that were like solely committed to playing the game and
competitively.
Yeah, competitively. So where are you going to find the best players at? Why not the Team USA? You know, you get a Discord invite, so there's an exclusive Discord there with the top players in the country. So, I mean, we know a lot of people that are in there already, but if you're looking at growing your skills or you need another spot other than some other Discords to get pickup games and stuff, it's perfect, man. This is like another outlet for learning the game better or getting another source of practice games and stuff. So,
yeah.
If you stay tuned to the probably it'll be on Twitter, I'm gonna guess is when they put it out, but I'll retweet it and stuff. So if you follow us on Twitter, you'll be able to find out that kind of information. So hopefully that information comes out fairly soon, so we can get more people signed up and apply. I mean, heck, if you want a game against me or Josh, maybe that's what you do.
Yeah. We're always down to play.
Another thing we wanted to do too, I think we talked about it just briefly last show, I think, was we do want to do a couple once all the information's out and all the Army PDFs are issued and stuff. We're going to do a series of probably 4 shows, 1 show per Grand Alliance, and kind of just do like an overview TLDR type of thing of the Grand Alliance and maybe some of the, like the shiny little diamonds that we see or
what we think is going to be in the meta and what we think is going to be really, really good from those books.
So, I mean, also, we've been talking about this for a little while between Josh and I, but we do want to bring some guests onto the show. Hopefully, we can do that for those type of shows.
Yeah.
We have quite a few friends in the community that just are real knowledgeable of a lot of the armies. So maybe we can have a few of our friends on and shoot the shit with them about what they also think. So that should be pretty cool for you guys too.
Yeah, I think that'll be really good. Really cool shows. Another show idea that we're throwing around is my buddy Brad does like a fix my list kind of thing, shine my car, whatever that show was, pimp my ride. So
Pimp my
pimp my
ride, yeah.
list. And so maybe if some people send us some lists, we can go over some lists and kind of talk about, what we think of them, what we think they need to adjust to be a little more competitive and things like that. We may just start with our own lists and talk about it and maybe throw in Ethan's lists or,
Yeah, we'll have a few for sure. I think
list or something. And we could talk about some stuff like that. That'd be a nice show that we'll probably end up doing now once things start getting, rolling with the new edition. So we got a lot of show ideas. If you guys have any other show ideas, leave comments on YouTube or join our Discord and hit us up. Be like, hey, it would be cool if you guys did a show on, terrain building or something. And we'd be like, fuck, we hate that, but we'll do it.
yeah.
I mean,
yeah, whatever you guys want to see, we'll do. I mean, as long as it involves Age of Sigmar, I think we'll be down.
So, yeah, we're looking forward to another good year. I think we kind of talked about it last year. MIGT is going to be the first event of our season. It's where we're gonna either that or should we call it the Super Bowl of our season? I don't really know. Like the end of our season. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I don't know how to classify that either. I mean, it's the biggest event locally that we have.
Yeah.
So I guess in that regard, it can kind of be like the Super Bowl of Michigan events, although
sure.
It kind of happens toward the beginning-ish of a GHB.
You're right. So it's probably opening. It's like the big opening tournament.
Yeah, but still, it's still the biggest one. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's not like Adepticon is bigger.
Well, it's the biggest local one. I mean, I'm talking about within our state. You know what I mean? Not like, sure, Adepticon's reachable. It's a little further away now that they moved to Milwaukee, but
just an hour though.
Yeah, I mean, it's still going to be one that we can get to,
yeah.
in a relatively easy manner.
Yeah.
But I mean, we wouldn't do what I'm saying is we wouldn't really do like LVO every year because it's a tough one.
Not at this point.
Well, yeah, but you know what I mean. Like that, there may be other big tournaments that we want to say like, oh well, let's do this one instead of LVO, or let's do NashCon this year instead of Nova, or you know what I mean, that kind of thing. So depends on when they are. I mean, it's probably tough for everyone to get together. We'd like to bring more of our team too. So
I mean, honestly, we're looking for teammates. We want people that are into competitive stuff. We like people that aren't, that just want to play and have fun, but we'd love to have a bigger team show up to events with us. I mean, really, it's us two, and Nick likes to go to a lot of events. I mean, he doesn't go to every event we go to, but he goes to a lot. But then
I mean, Tim came to Adepticon too, so it was
true.
That was nice.
Brewski, I think, wasn't
he? Yeah, he was. Yeah,
Tim maybe starting to get his game of juices flowing. My kids, I'd love for them to come more, but school and everything, that they're a little bit harder. But anybody wants to join up with our squad, we don't have tryouts. We just we'll take you. Just come and play with us, and you can wear our color.
It's all about being part of a team, and really, I mean, like you said, we'd like to have it to where we could just come up to a tournament and be, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people strong and have a good team showing, really.
Yeah.
I know the actual trash guys down in Kentucky that Clay has put together, quite a few of those guys down there that are a part of that team. And, I mean, they came to Adepticon with 4 guys, I think. They came up to Michigan GT last year. I mean, they brought more than 4. I mean, I think they had like 4 guys play, but they probably brought 8 guys up.
Well, they got 40K guys too, don't they?
They do have some 40K guys, yes. But I'm just saying, like as a group, as a club, it would be nice to be able to have more people come to more events. It is pretty cool. Like when we go to events and we go, wow, that's cool, man. The whole group of dudes over there wearing their jerseys and, you know, that's the kind of thing we're interested in, is having a good team, bringing that team to events, and hopefully trying to win some of these things. It's not necessary, but it is fun.
Yeah.
You got any other reflections on third? I mean, I don't know.
I'm looking forward to fourth. I mean, third was a really good addition. So
yeah, I'm just trying to think. Like, I mean, we did, like, all of third edition was basically my entire AoS career at the moment.
Yeah, it's your rookie.
Yeah,
edition.
so it was like everything was new for me, right? Like getting back into the actual like art and hobby stuff was really fun. I didn't have much of an artistic release type of other thing going on. Like it wasn't already doing hobby stuff, but that got me back into doing some of that stuff. So that was real fun for me. I do enjoy the hobby part of the game a lot. So
Yeah, I mean, as evidenced by all your painted armies.
well, I mean, I got one good painted army.
Okay.
I didn't say that I enjoy it so much though, where I just can't stop painting.
Can't stop.
But I also think, like, for me myself, having a scheme that I liked when I got into the Fleshier Courts, and able to do that paint scheme across the whole army, no matter what it was, I think it was pretty cool. But I kind of landed on that in a way. I found a cool video where I liked the paint scheme and kind of replicated that. I haven't really put much effort into the other armies. Like, I didn't go out and hunt anything I really liked yet, and was like, this is the definite paint job I want to emulate, right? So maybe in fourth I'll have more of that, where I go, oh, maybe I will paint my Stormcast dudes, because now I just actually found something that I think looks cool. Or whatever army it is, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, I for sure would love to have all my armies painted, but
the only one stopping you is you.
Oh wow, that was pretty deep.
I mean, I paint an army in a weekend sometimes.
Yeah.
Or in 10 days. I mean, I did my skeleton, my undead army in about 10 days.
Well, when you get all your armies painted, I'll give you some of mine. Well, since you love painting so much.
We know that I'm not going to get all my armies painted, and we know that I'm not going to do yours. I mean, I got to paint all the Ethan stuff. I got to paint if Logan plays.
Yeah, I don't envy you in that regard.
Their paint skills are... I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, some of these tournament guys just bring a black army with a couple colors on it, just so they can say it's 3 colors, so they can play the game, and that's fine. But I prefer to try to compete and like get better paint scores and everything. I want all the different stuff. So,
but I think that's where I'm at too. It's like you'd like to, well, not only that though, but like, I think both of us would take quite a bit of pride in having a nice looking army when we go to a tournament. Yeah. I mean, I don't think mine is the best painted army I've ever seen. However, I've gotten quite a few compliments on it while we're at tournaments, and that feels real good. You know, when you're sitting there and you go, and someone walks up and was like, "Damn, man, that's a cool looking army," or whatever, So I'll take that all day. So I think that's one part of my hesitation on some of these other armies is like, I just don't want to paint it to paint it. I want it to paint it nice.
Right. Well, I mean, you just got to do it. Well, your big thing, I'll paint what I'm using, but I have a whole lot, like for my undead, I have an entire poker table covered and vampires, and I only painted what I was playing with. And I can go back and hit that back easy. I mean, it's not a hard color scheme, but you got to just paint what you're going to use, what you think you're going to use, and and have that ready to roll. And then after that, you can paint other stuff if you want to add it later.
Yeah, I did get into that thing where I'm like, I'm painting my whole Flesh Eater collection.
Yeah, and you almost finished it.
Almost. It's pretty damn close right now. I think the only thing I have left to paint is one Marrow Scroll Herald that's an extra guy, 20 Crypt Guard, and 6 Morbeg Knights.
Okay.
Which is not a lot, especially for Flesh Eater courts. They're not real difficult to paint, but with that being said, I do have 100 ghouls that I've painted for no reason at all.
You don't know.
I told myself I'm never going to play the ghoul spam, so I don't even, I have the models, I built the models, so I painted the models, but I don't know, man. I don't really have a desire to play a horde type of list, but I guess we'll really see. I mean, if that is the strongest list coming out of this new book or whatever, maybe I'll try it, but still, don't know.
Nope.
I mean, I would love to paint up all my big pigs.
Okay.
And a couple mall crushes. And just go fucking ham. Badoom.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that would be a cool list to try out. Now, whether it's good or not is another thing. So, like I said, we'll be doing test games for sure, but we'll see that.
Yeah, I like the Iron Jaws as well. I like all the orcs. So I've thought about playing both those armies, but they're not at the top of my list right now.
Yeah, well, the problem you have is too many choices. I don't have as many choices, so and realistically, the other armies that I do own, I don't have every model. So even with that, I think if I decided to build a list out of those other armies, I'd probably have to get some more models.
Yeah, there's armies not the same way that I don't have everything I would need. Ogres.
Well, I know, but what I'm saying, you have quite a bit of stuff that you could land on an army of the stuff that you already have.
Sure. Oh yeah, I could play.
Yeah.
I put every army on the table. Doesn't mean that it would be a best army or a best list.
Well, that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, I have everything for Flesh Eater courts, barring maybe some extra models of a certain unit or whatever. But I don't have that. Even with the Stormcast collection I don't have that. So, just I think that's where I get hung up sometimes on list building too. Is I want to build a list that I can play, but I don't want to build a list that I don't have the models for, because I'm well, then I have to buy them somewhere, and I want to pull them out of the box and just play the list,
Yep. Yeah, I mean, you'll get there. I don't know if you'll catch me on number of armies.
Well, I guarantee I won't, because you already capped it.
Well, I mean, but I've had a lot of years.
Yeah.
All right. I think we may have beaten this horse. Oh, one more thing that I wanted to say. We've talked to MIGT, and we may be giving them a golden ticket to our tournament.
Yeah.
and that tournament's coming up. So we talked to the guys that run that, and we've been talking to them a lot, just basically because we're trying to figure out how to run our own GT. And so we're probably gonna give them a golden ticket. That way we can get their champ into our tournament, or possibly a couple golden tickets. I don't know. We have to talk about the details yet, but I know that that's something that Jeff said that they would do for us. So I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I actually forgot that you had talked to him about that. But yeah, that's going to be a cool thing if we can get our kind of name out there a little bit at the biggest local event that's around, and at least that'll kind of like maybe even word of mouth spread. Like, oh shit, I didn't even know you guys were running events or something. And now that the announcement was made at the Michigan GT, and maybe we can give out a couple free entries for for the tickets to our event at that event. I'm sure will be a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, I think that'll be cool.
So like you were saying, I don't know if there's much more reflection on third that we didn't already talk about. I think most of it is right now. Can't wait till fourth, man. Just give it to us.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's like we're down to like the last week, and still I'm just like, Jesus, would you just fucking get on with it?
Yeah, I mean, next week will be packed full of fun, though. We'll get the points on Monday. We will get
Order on Tuesday, Chaos on Wednesday, yeah. Death on Thursday, and Destruction on Friday, I think.
I think Death might have been Tuesday.
No.
Hold, please. I will find this.
Death is second to last. Thursday.
Thursday?
I'm pretty sure, because Rats Wednesday, All Death Thursday. Yeah, because Rats are Chaos. Yeah. Order Monday, Chaos Tuesday, or Order Tuesday, Chaos Wednesday, Death on Thursday, Destruction on Friday. And then it's fucking go time. Then it's as many games as we can get in a month. And of course, it happens to be the month where I'm going to work the most hours that I could possibly work. So,
well, I mean, we don't have a tournament that we're officially playing in yet, except for Michigan GT. So we got until the end of September to get prepared for that one. However, our August RTT will be a good testing point, I think, if someone wants to play,
but doesn't want to go to a GT quite yet. It's our RTTs are no painting required.
Yep.
Our terrain will be painted, and if your army looks cool, I mean, that's bonuses for you. But we're not requiring any kind of painting for RTTs, so it's a good place to come try stuff out.
That's for sure. And like I said, I don't know how many of our teammates will play. I guess it doesn't much matter to me if even if you wanted to play just to get some 4th edition games into.
I might. I mean, it depends on how full it gets, how fast. I know I'm going to get Ethan in there.
If we fill up without teammates joining it, that would be fine too. Yep. It'll give us a much more. Well, the last RTT was a little bit like I had to fill in last minute because I had a night before the event dropped. So I didn't get a chance to go around and mingle as much as I wanted to, or take as many pictures or videos and shit like that. So I think
we'd like to get some of that done.
Yeah, I think that'll be good for some marketing things we can do with that kind of footage and media. So but anyhow, look forward till next week, boys, because like I said, we're gonna I don't know. This upcoming Sunday show will be. We'll have to discuss on exactly what that's going to be, but the following week we will have all of this on screen out by then. So all the armies, all the points.
Renown. We won't have that.
Well, okay, whatever. The regiments of renown and the legends.
I bet the legends will be Beastmen and the other orcs.
Oh, Bone Splitters. It'll probably be like also what else is considered legends, like Gotrek and
all the stuff that they're taking out of the game.
Yeah.
No. Gotrek's a
isn't he a legend?
No, legends means like stuff that's out of the game.
Oh, okay, so whatever.
Yeah, and so it's going to be all the Warcry stuff that's only available for 1 more year and blah blah blah.
Yeah, but that's fine because no one cares about that. At least I guess. Well, maybe you care about it.
Nothing you can do about it though.
Yeah, nothing that you're really gonna play a bunch unless you want to just like give it one more hurrah or whatever. Yeah. Oh, Logan said rats on Wednesday. Is he super excited about rats or what?
I don't even think he likes rats. I think he just is saying rats Wednesday. He wants death on Thursday. He plays rats and death. That's all he plays.
Ah, he plays Iron Jaws.
No, he sold it.
Oh yeah, I forgot he sold his Iron Jaws army and didn't bother to let me know.
Yeah, he sold. He sold that. He sold his sharks and his fish. Remember, because I was trying to buy sharks and I went there to look for them and there were none. And then he was like, "Oh shoot, I just sold all mine."
Yeah. Thanks for the heads up there, Log.
Yeah.
Good luck. We're your friends and we play the game too.
Yeah. Come on, man.
Fucking guy.
So, all right. Well,
yep.
I think that's it.
Yeah. Like I said, we'll come up with a show for Sunday. And then next week will be Game On 4th edition. Okay. So got that looked forward to. But until then, guys, signing out.
Goodbye, friends.